Hello and welcome to Connect and Collaborate. I am Alex Hopkins, your on-air producer, and we are having our monthly check-in here with the Colorado Workforce Development Council. I have Britta Blodgett in studio. She is the Senior Communications Strategist for CWDC and a frequent radio guest now. So Britta, how are you and what's going on with CWDC?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Alex. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you.
The CWDC is busy as per usual. I think we have our next full council meeting coming up in May. But some of our partners, the Economic Development Council of Colorado, is hosting one of their regional forums in the Eastern Plains this month, March 12th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Lincoln County Fairgrounds in Hugo. And they'll be sharing updates on opportunity zones, talking about building communities with skilled labor, creating an ecosystem for innovation, fostering growth and development of precision agriculture. And if people are interested in that, I think they welcome businesses from all Eastern Plains community and other community partners. You can visit edcconline.org, and then there's a tab at the top of the menu that says attend if you're interested in more information in that.
That is awesome. Great to hear. And that, again, is next Tuesday, March 12th.
Correct.
Awesome. Yeah, so you guys have a pretty cool thing that you do. It's called Lives Empowered. So tell me more about that.
Yes, so this is a new initiative for us. Colorado and really the rest of the country are experiencing record low unemployment, and industries with low barriers for entry-level positions are attracting low-skilled workers, but we need effective strategies for retaining and upskilling those workers that are not widely spread. So Lives Empowered is a solution that builds on Colorado's history of success with public-private partnerships to inspire the retail, hospitality, and food service industries to address their collective industry challenges and support the development of upskilling opportunities to aid those frontline workers in more effectively competing in a changing economy. So to talk about that today, we have Josh Frazier Sparks from Walmart and Jean, one of my colleagues at the CWDC, who has knowledge of the retail industry in Colorado. So I wanted to ask both of them to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about their organization. And can we start with you, Josh, please?
Sure. First, it's really great to be here with you all today. I'm Josh Frazier Sparks, and I'm representing the Walmart Foundation. And so I get to spend a lot of my time thinking about what will it take to make sure working adults, particularly those incumbent workers who are frontline workers, who work in retail, hospitality, and food service, how can they upskill more effectively, more efficiently, and how do we do that with a whole host of other people? So really building on that public-private, nonprofit partnership piece to drive change.
Great, thank you. Jean, how are you?
I'm doing well. My name is Jean Dougherty, and I work for the Colorado Workforce Development Council as the new Career Pathways Associate. I just moved to Colorado from Minnesota after completing my master's degree in industrial organizational psychology, which is kind of like business psychology. You work on hiring, training, retention, and job analysis. And with Career Pathways, that's essentially a giant job analysis. And with the council, I'll be working on building out those career pathways for the retail industry.
We're very excited to have Jean on the team.
Yeah.
So Josh, can you tell us a little bit about why does Walmart care about this issue of upskilling retail workers?
Sure. And I think it starts with our evolving journey for us. So we've always believed, and even our founder, Sam, said numerous times, that if you take care of your customers and if you take care of your associates, they'll take care of the business. And so this idea of upskilling and taking care of associates is really baked into our DNA at Walmart. And so if we think back to 2015, just 4 short years ago, the company made an almost $3 billion investment to do 2 things. One, at that time, the company did a series of wage increases and benefit plans. And 2, they created Walmart Academies to upskill our associates. where our people, whether they're frontline managers or department managers, they can go and get upskilled to meet this changing nature of work. And Jean, I know you attended, we put together a little visit to our Aurora, Colorado Academy, and I know you have been there and you've seen what happens. And so just to put that in perspective, this year alone, Walmart's trained nearly 400,000 associates who have went through an academy training program. And so that is just pretty incredible when you think about impact and scope and scale across the country. And one of the really cool things that I haven't witnessed, but I've seen lots of pictures, is when we have an academy grand opening, there's a graduation for the first graduates of that academy. And so these associates put on a cap and gown, their family comes and cheers them on, and those associates walk across the stage and get a Walmart Academy diploma. And a lot of those associates say, after they walk across the stage, that is the first time they have felt successful learning. And so we care about upskilling because, one, in the changing nature of work, it's a business imperative, but two, how do you really think about building a lifelong learning mentality amongst all Walmart associates so that you can be agile and flexible as that work changes? And then, like I said, this is a journey, and it's still a journey for us. And so last year, we announced another round of wage increases, and we also announced a whole series of adoption benefits for our associates. And we also announced an education benefit program where our associates can earn a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree for $1 a day. And it's pretty incredible because the thing is, if you're successful at a Walmart Academy, which I just talked about, and you leave that academy, you automatically take 15 to 20 college credit hours with you into your degree program. And so what that says is, associate, you have been successful at a Walmart Academy, and now, look, you can be successful in college. And so continuing to instill that lifelong learning mindset throughout all of our associates. And so that is really why we care about this. It's good for business, and it's good for our associates.
Wonderful. And can you tell us a little bit about what is Walmart's Retail Opportunity Initiative?
Sure. So the Retail Opportunity Initiative in 2015, when the company announced all of these investments internally, Walmart was thinking about how do we actually do this in the broader systems change effort? Because not every employer has the ability to launch 200 academies across the country and upskill folks. So in 2015, the Walmart Foundation announced a $100 million 5-year commitment to really build synergy in this field of upskilling incumbent working adults. And so, as you know, 5 years ago, there was very little happening in creating this learning ecosystem, and that shifted a little bit. And that's exactly why we're on the call today, because it shifted so much that Colorado is interested in this very aspect of upskilling working adults in frontline sectors. And so our retail opportunity agenda at the foundation, we break it down into 3 big pillars. One is learning products and programs. And so how do we make sure learning programs exist that work for frontline working adults? By lowering the cost, lowering the time to complete the program, and making sure there's increasing relevancy between the education program and the work that you do, because we at Walmart believe learning can happen anywhere, and you shouldn't have to go to college to earn college credit, and you should be able to do that while you're working at Walmart, garnering the skills that you would learn in an education program. And so in this space, you'll see a lot of micro-credentialing, you'll see a lot of talk around badging. And so those are some of the innovations that we're really trying to seed in that particular piece. And then number 2 is the signaling system. It's broken today. We know people have skills that they've developed in retail and other jobs. And when those folks leave or they try to advance, there's really no way for them to communicate the skills that they have. And so on the opposite side, employers hire typically based upon a degree. And we all know a degree isn't the best proxy for determining the skills that a person has to do a job. And so how do we really make that easier? Easier for folks to communicate the skills they have and easier for employers to signal what they need and to connect with people who have what they need. And so that sounds really simple, but it's actually really, really difficult. And then the third piece of our retail opportunity initiative at the foundation really lies within cross-sector collaboration. And so we know that no one employer is going to be able to do this alone. We also know that no one nonprofit or no one public entity is going to be able to do this alone. So how do we think in cross-sector ways and incent cross-sector collaboration in all we do? And so that's another reason why Colorado is just so ripe for this, because of all the collaboration that's been laid in the state historically.
That was another thing I wanted to ask you about. This is Walmart's first grant to a state government in supporting workforce development. Can you talk a little bit more about why Walmart chose to invest in Colorado's sector partnership model?
Sure. So first and foremost, I think leadership in the state said that it was a need. So at that time, Governor Hickenlooper and Secretary Walker was like, we need to think about how we upskill working adults better. And so that was one piece of it. And then I think, and Britta, you probably know this better than anyone, but I think 8 regions in Colorado are expected to experience significant retail growth over the next few years. And so this is a population that's actually going to be growing in Colorado. And what do you do with that population that is growing and that is emerging? And so those were 2 things, but I don't think those 2 things would have been enough for us to feel comfortable making an investment that we did in Colorado. I think the other 2 things that led us to say, gosh, Colorado is the right place for this, is Colorado's just plainly innovative when it comes to workforce and education. So with TalentFOUND, with CareerWise, all the other things, it just seemed like Colorado was just really firing on all cylinders, and that this investment in Colorado would just accelerate all the great work Colorado has done, but just bring it into the retail sector. And so it just seemed for us like a natural place to go that had a really great landscape, really great people working on this topic for it to be successful.
Thank you. And where can people go to learn more about the Retail Opportunity Initiative?
Sure. So if you want to find out more about our Retail Opportunity Initiative, you can go to www.giving.walmart.com and click on Opportunity, and that'll tell you a little bit more about what we do, how we do it, and what we're looking for in potential investments.
Awesome. I find it interesting that the acronym there is ROI. You're certainly getting a return on your investment by putting this initiative out there. We know that there's already 26 active sector partnerships, but why focus on retail?
I think for a lot of the reasons that Josh mentioned, that it is a industry that's going to continue to grow in Colorado, that's projected to continue to grow, and there are great career pathways within retail, and retail can also be a springboard for opportunity as well. So that's part of the reason we have Jean here with us today, is she knows a lot of the details around this. And so can you talk a little bit about how many people are working in retail in Colorado currently?
Of course. As you know, retail is a big industry, not only in the nation, but also in the state of Colorado. A little over 9% of the working population is working in retail directly, which is about a little over 265,000 people. And this number is even higher when you factor in the auxiliary roles that are associated with retail. So it's a big industry that impacts a lot of people.
Yes. And when you talked, I know we've talked about, we use retail fairly broadly. What is encompassed in that?
So the National Retail Federation defines retailer as a company whose core business is to sell consumer goods directly to the end consumer through storefront, catalog, television, or online. And this includes chain restaurants, grocers, and convenience stores. And the company must own the merchandise and it sells and have a business license. But the short answer for the Lives Empowered initiative is traditional retail, both brick and mortar and online, food service, and hospitality.
And can you talk a little bit about how the retail industry has grown in Colorado? And is it only growing in certain parts of the state?
I'm really glad that Josh brought up that in 8 different regions it's growing, but in the last 5 years, Colorado has seen over an 11% growth in retail jobs, and this is far outpacing the national growth of 5.4%. What's even more interesting is that the growth is not just localized in the metro areas, but is growing in the rural areas as well, with 51 of our 64 counties in Colorado seeing an increase in retail jobs. And this growth is projected over the next 10 years, too. So it's not just happening now, it's going to be happening in the future.
One of the benefits of retail from the job seeker's perspective potentially is that it can have a lower barrier to entry. Does that mean that most of the people working in retail are young?
In the U.S., nearly a third of first jobs are in retail, and the average age for the first retail job is 16. But that being said, that doesn't mean that it's solely a younger occupation. Because of the low barrier to entry, the workers are spread across most age groups, so you can see everybody kind of represented in the retail industry.
And then if we have interested retail businesses in Colorado to learn more about the work that's happening, do you have a place they can go?
So you can go to the coworkforcecouncil.org, and there will be a banner at the top of the website to let you know a little bit more about the initiative and where you can go for that information.
Great. Josh, do you have any other thoughts about retail in Colorado or Walmart's involvement?
Yeah. I think one of the questions that's always on my mind is why should we care about upskilling frontline workers? Because history has told us that a lot of companies have actually disinvested in their frontline workers. And so one of the things that Colorado is really doing is really showing that there is an ROI and there is a business imperative to do this. And so I just want to say the nature of retail is changing. I know you all have walked into a retailer, and what a retailer looks like today compared to 5 years ago, compared to what it's going to look like 5 years from now, is going to be vastly different. The jobs are going to demand higher digital literacy, an increased focus on customer service, increased collaboration, and just really fast problem-solving skills. And that list could go on and on. And so I think as we think about the service sector and incumbent workers, especially frontline, there are going to be a lot of jobs that are going to transition that those folks will be able to step into if they have the right skills. And so I think it's just imperative for us to think not only about the workforce of today, but the workforce of the future, and that we're making sure everyone has the skills to remain relevant throughout the continuum of their career.
That it's not, you need to be thinking simultaneously both how are we taking the people that we have and helping them grow their skills, continuing to be successful and progress along career pathways, but then also how are we feeding the future workforce and meeting the changing needs with the changing nature of work.
Exactly.
And so I know you've talked about the Walmart academies. Are there other, and also the opportunity for associates to get college credit, are there other opportunities available to retail workers as they upskill and progress along their career pathways?
Sure. So there are plenty, and especially as we think about the future of retail, like I said before, many of those tasks are going to focus on those soft skills. How do we create an experience for a customer that they love through the way you communicate, through the way you troubleshoot? And so in retail, and at least at Walmart, one can advance into management, whether that is store management or department management. And really two cool examples of an emerging role at Walmart. One would be our grocery concierge role. And you're probably like, what is a grocery concierge role? Well, those are the wonderful people who pick the groceries from your online orders. They fulfill those, and then you arrive at a Walmart, and those people bring you your groceries to the trunk of your car. It is easy, it is fast, and it requires a high level of digital literacy and a high level of customer service, because I know this is a service I use pretty frequently. And when I go to a Walmart and pull into the pickup stall, I want a great experience, and Fred, who is always there, who is my grocery concierge person, always delivers on that experience. And so 2 years ago, we had 0 of those positions, Fast forward to now, we have almost 30,000 of those roles that didn't exist just 2 years ago. And then how many of you have been to a Walmart store recently and either inside or outside of the store, you've seen those big orange towers? Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are our pickup towers, and you can't miss them because they're really big and really orange. And so what happens there is customers place an order online, and then that day or the next day, a customer walks into this tower, scans a barcode on their phone, and a box pops out with all the orders. And this is also a service that I use because I don't actually like to go shopping. I like to just sit on my phone, pick what I need, and then show up and a box pops out. And I'm like, oh, it's all there, packed, ready for me to go. It takes less time. It saves me time, all the good stuff. But likewise, a few years ago, we didn't need people to maintenance those pickup towers because we didn't have them. And so now those pickup towers require our associates to know how to maintain them. And that's just one example out of many as to why it's important to think about how you're continuously upskilling folks, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. And because you don't know what's going to happen in the future, you also need to build a culture of lifelong learning. And so those are just two examples at Walmart.
I just want to ask here, because I think one of the fallacies that people believe with the scanners, where you scan yourself out when you check out, and when we go more digital, I think people think that there's a job loss, but that's not necessarily true, right?
Yeah, that is not necessarily true. I think what we see more of is a job shift. So as opposed to someone just being solely a cashier, someone has to be able to take on the cashier role when necessary, but also manage the host of self-checkout machines, also know how to take care of the pickup tower. And so what we're seeing is work is really shifting in terms of the responsibilities, and that's probably the future. Like, work is going to shift tremendously.
And I feel like we're seeing that across a variety of industries in Colorado and across the country, whether it's manufacturing or healthcare or retail, that it is, some jobs are shifting, but as Josh said, that importance of lifelong learning and also the skills-based hiring, so that if you have skills from one job, you can clearly identify them, that if you do need to find another job, you can articulate those clearly to make your case. So I know we're very excited at the Colorado Workforce Development Council about this grant that we received at the end of 2018 from Walmart. And so over the next 3 years, the CWDC will be working with local and regional communities to support and to sustain the launch of up to 10 retail sector partnerships, really focused on piloting upskilling training for those incumbent retail workers. So with the sector partnership model that we have in Colorado, we're really excited to help expand that further across the state.
That is exciting. This is a great conversation, but I know that we are going to be switching up some people in the next segment. And it has been wonderful, Jean, speaking with you. Josh, it's been great having you on as well. Britta, thank you so much. We'll be right back with you in the next segment. So stay with us here on Connect and Collaborate. Be sure to like and subscribe our YouTube page. Find more about the Colorado Workforce Development Council at coworkforcecouncil.org. Yes, and you will also find all of the information about this show below in the comments section at cobrt.com/live. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome to Connect and Collaborate. I am Alex Hopkins, your on-air producer, and I am so excited because we have in studio with us Britta Blodgett. She is with the Colorado Workforce Development Council, and we have Tina Castro, who is with Concessions International. So welcome. We also have a couple people by phone, Paul Harter, who is with Aqua-Hot, and Yohannes is with
Denver Workforce Services.
Thank you very much, Yohannes. So welcome, everybody.
Yes.
Britta,
Thank you.
Get started.
Well, we are excited to talk about sector partnerships, and today sector partnerships broadly and retail sector partnerships. So I wanted to give each of our guests a chance to talk a little bit about themselves and their business, and I thought we could start with Paul, please.
Yeah, great. Thank you. As you mentioned, with Aqua-Hot Heating Systems, we're a small manufacturing firm in Frederick, Colorado, actually a Colorado company since its inception. We started in Brighton, Colorado in 1984. We manufacture heating systems for high-end RVs. So when you see the big bus-type RVs going down the road, very high likelihood that the heating system in that RV was manufactured right here in Frederick.
Awesome.
Thank you. And then Tina, could you share a little bit as well, please?
Sure. My name is Tina Castro. I'm with Concessions International. We run 8 restaurants out at Denver International Airport. I'm HR generalist for them.
Great. And Yohannes?
My name is Yohannes Mengistu. I am with Denver Office of Economic Development Workforce Services, and I'm a supervisor at DAN, Denver International Airport Workforce Center.
Great. We're really excited to have all 3 of you here with us today. Paul, can you clarify what is a sector partnership and who is involved?
Such a great question. You know, sector partnerships really, they present a new way for public and private entities to collaborate for the betterment of our communities. Specifically, with the programs we have in place in Colorado, we're bringing representatives from workforce development, economic development, and education together with key leaders in identified critical industry sectors. So these sectors might be healthcare, manufacturing, construction, tourism, banking, IT, et cetera. Anywhere within a region within the state that we've identified a particular industry or business to be key to that region's economy, we've asked those leaders to step up and partner with, again, the folks from workforce development, economic development, and education, primarily with the intent of providing for our current and for our future workforce. However, as we've seen these organizations come together, they also surface other issues that are specific to their industry, issues with regulation, issues with transportation, other best practices in their industry. So we're seeing them come together with this initial focus and then actually even growing beyond that.
Wonderful. And how is it that the sector partnerships are helping to address those business needs?
You know, first and foremost, I feel that bringing the businesses together creates a unique focus on their industry segment. Suddenly they have their peers to cry on their shoulders with or compare best practices with, and you see an industry sector become more self-aware, as it were. So that's healthy just for the industry there. And then from them working together and advocating for business with their key public partners, we're being able to make change in our communities and address these issues that are common to our industry. So we're really helping ourselves, and we're helping our public partners help us.
Wonderful. And do you have specific examples of wins that you have seen come out of sector partnerships?
You know, I do. Having seen a number of sector partnerships, even outside of Colorado, they do have some common themes around the things that are characterized as wins. And I think first and foremost for them, when they come together as an industry, some real practical things happen for their industry. They begin to collaborate within their industry in new ways. Again, you know, the idea of sharing best practices and finding new partnerships, new relationships within their industry. But more on target with what sector partnerships are supposed to do, we've seen the development of joint educational programs. We've got a couple of great ones right here in northern Colorado as a result of our sector partnerships work with our region's educators. We have a program of, we actually call it our ROCKS tours, and it's for career awareness for high school students. So they're able to go and tour manufacturing facilities and find out what careers in manufacturing are all about. We've also jointly developed some educational programming. We've got a 40-hour workshop, it's a non-credit certificate workshop at Front Range Community College that was jointly developed between the manufacturers within the partnership and the educators for frontline supervisors, which is a difficult position for us to hire for within our industry. We've also developed a voice with some key public figures as a result of our sector partnerships becoming noticed in the region. And again, coming together as an industry community with our trade show. We've now, I think we're going into our 5th year of a very well-attended trade show that we hold in northern Colorado. We've established a calendar of lunch and learn programs, and we hold various B2B events throughout the year as well.
Wonderful. So it sounds like you have a lot of things going on, both on the introducing students or potential people who might be interested in manufacturing, helping them really understand better what the industry is about, and also helping upskill to fill some of those positions that are harder to fill sometimes.
I'm so glad you said the word upskill. So much of our early focus was on generating our workforce for tomorrow, and what we're finding is our workforce today needs help. We need to help them adapt to a new economy, new digital workplace, new technologies, and so upskilling has become a real theme, and we're spending a lot of time on that.
So that's a common thing that sector partnerships are focused on.
Yes.
And I guess, what would your advice be to other businesses that are interested in engaging in sector partnerships?
Step number one, get off your hind end and become involved. That's the big one. Step up and take part in this. Reach out primarily through the internet. A quick Google search will connect you with the folks that are doing these things in Colorado. And then when you show up, have a little faith. This is very much a give until you get kind of scenario. If you're going to walk in the door with a sector partnership and think that by the end of your first meeting you're going to be able to calculate your return on investment in that organization, you're probably going to be disappointed. So come in and have faith, give till you get, build some relationships. And finally, I think maybe the most important piece of advice I could give another business leader about sector partnerships is remember you have a responsibility to lead. Bring your time, your treasure, your talent, and your testimony to this effort. Be willing to move to the front of the class and lead this effort. Certainly delegate. You're not going to be expected to do it all by yourself, and you can't do it all by yourself. That's why your other fellow business peers are there and why your public partners are there. So do delegate, but never abdicate. Always stay in a leadership role and keep these efforts business and industry focused.
Thank you. Very well said.
Yes. How many sector partnerships are there in Colorado?
So currently we have 26 active sector partnerships across a variety of industries all across the state.
Variety of industries, and I assume that includes retail sector partnerships?
Yes, there is a retail sector partnership in Metro Denver.
Awesome.
So I think we want to talk to Yohannes for a little bit and give him a chance to talk about what his role is with the Metro Denver Retail Sector Partnership.
Thank you for the opportunity. This is Yohannes, and as I said, I am a supervisor at Denver Workforce Center. My role in the Metro Denver Retail Sector Partnership is that I am one of the conveners. My co-conveners are Shante Trotman and Dana Williams. Both of them are with Denver Workforce Services. As a convener, I facilitate meetings, take down notes, and assist with following up on action items of the partnership.
Are there any kind of other requirements to be a convener beyond those responsibilities?
There is no such requirement. It is, members, both business and the supporting agencies come together and identify who facilitates these kinds of activities as conveners. So basically, there is no such requirement. However, the Colorado Workforce Development Council provides training to become qualified facilitator to make sure that things are run in a proper and efficient manner.
Thank you. The Metro Denver Retail Sector Partnership was the first retail sector partnership in Colorado. Can you talk a little bit about how it was started?
Yes, we are. Metro Denver Retail Partnership launched in September 2016. The circumstances around the formation of the partnership consist of a number of opportunities. In 2016, Denver Workforce Services identified retail sector as one of the in-demand and high-growth sectors. There were lots of questions by employers around workforce needs. Denver's Reimagine Retail Grant launched at the same time, and workforce regions around Denver metro, Denver area were supportive of these efforts. The coming together of all these opportunities helped us to launch Metro Denver Retail Sector Partnership.
Great, thank you. And what are some of the goals that the partnership is working toward currently?
There are a number of things that the partnership is working. The way that we develop our goals is basically to strengthen the sector partnership by identifying the needs and pain points of businesses. So over 2.5 years, we were able to develop action items, yearly action items that were identified by employers. The first year, we had two priorities. One is the formation of a communication platform for all partners, and the other one is to address the talent pipeline need of employers using a number of strategies such as retail-focused job fairs, retail-focused recruitments, and training opportunities. After that, the second year, we were focusing on more expanded agenda items, whereby we were able to focus on marketing, rebranding, and increasing the talent pipeline by reaching out to different subsectors in the economy. So these things are basically developed by business and industry partners.
And are all of the businesses involved in the Metro Denver Retail Sector Partnership large businesses? Is there a requirement on business size in order to participate?
Not all businesses are large businesses in our sector partnership. However, there are some large businesses who participated in the partnership, such as Home Depot, Macy's, IKEA, and JCPenney. The partnership also has medium and small businesses such as Logan House Coffee Company, Elite Gardens, Paradise La Grande, and Concessions International, where Tina is a member of.
Wonderful. Thank you, Yohannes. So Tina, you are part of the Metro Denver Retail Sector Partnership. Can you talk a little bit about your role?
Well, I'm on the chair. I'm one of the chairs. We coordinate meetings, monthly meetings. At the meeting, we go through an agenda that we start with, we open up with what our needs are. It's really great that we all come together, all the retail partnerships and the supporting partnerships as well, to see what the business needs are and how they can support our businesses in the community.
And how did your business decide to become involved with the retail partnership?
I've been working with Yohannes in the Workforce Center at DIA for many years. I showed interest, and Yohannes says this can benefit your business by coming on board, and then I just been a more active role in it. And the Workforce Center has helped me a lot in supplying us with staff. I've gone to the Gen Sector Partnership meetings. The last one we just had was in Austin. It was really great meeting people from all over the country. We all kind of have the same problems, trying to find talent, trying to fill positions with the skill base of the needs of today.
And so with your involvement in the retail partnership, what are some of the benefits you've seen for your business?
Well, communication, linking up with different people in the community, the supporting, the agencies around us that I didn't know was there. Also, with different grants that they do get through will help supplement some of our training needs in our establishment with new candidates. Also, I think the main thing is us all coming together as one group in order to help each other. It's not I have to worry about the next company trying to take my ideas or steal ideas from my company. It is us working together as a team in order to come out with the same results.
So it's very collaborative.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. You have competition, but it's not about that. It's about how you can effectively collaborate together.
That's correct. So you can help the other company maybe better them, or they can better us with different ideas they bring to the table.
Wonderful. And do you think that it makes a difference that the partnership is specifically focused on retail as opposed to just talent broadly?
No, because when I went to the Gen Sector Partnership, I found that manufacturing, the medical field, they all have the same needs as we do as retail, more so than, especially in this generation, the need of skilled-based workers is, short staff. and to start with how they say when we start with the sectoring with the schools and training them in middle school to high school, so when they're ready to come to the workforce, they're prepared.
And I know we've talked on this show before about the importance of knowing the possibilities that are out there. So if you don't know that retail is an opportunity or manufacturing is an opportunity, it's hard to imagine yourself doing that.
That's correct.
So I also wanted to follow up with both Yohannes and Tina, since you're both involved in this specific sector partnership, to hear about some of the wins that you have seen come out of the group.
Yeah, thank you. It's really a great question. Members of Metro Denver Retail Partnership identified their pain points, such as Tina indicated, difficulty in filling open positions and retaining existing employees. So the partnership has some of early wins in addressing these needs. The first one is development of a tripartite relationship among Emily Griffith Technical College, EAT Denver, and Denver Workforce Services. So as a result of this relationship, EAT Denver was able to recruit people from Emily Griffith Technical College's Culinary Quick Start program. Denver Workforce Services covered training costs of several cohort groups, and this program helped many restaurants of EAT Denver to hire for their cook positions, which was their critical need. Another early win was that Stonebridge companies and Colorado Hotel and Lodge Association through Johnson and Wales University were able to implement lodging manager registered apprenticeship. Denver Workforce Services provided financial support to cover work-based learning and related to technical instruction costs. 2 cohort groups benefited from this partnership, and some participants made an average of 25% wage gain. Employers were able to retain, upskill, and promote their existing workers. It was a great experience for both employers, the association, Colorado Hotel and Lodge Association, and the Workforce Services. The other early win is setting up Basecamp as a communication platform, which enabled members of the partnership to post and read messages, archive meeting notes, and other documents for easy access. It enabled all members to keep up with discussions, actions, and plans of the partnership.
So that's kind of building on what you were talking about, effective communication.
That's correct.
Among the group. Do you have other wins that you want to highlight, Tina?
Well, Yohannes nailed them all. We benefited from finding candidates, like he said, with the help of the funds to help support the new person, the new candidate in regards with the monies. It helps them train. And also the base camp, that's awesome because we can post jobs out there. Maybe they have candidates they can send our way. We can have candidates that we can send their way.
Awesome.
And then Tina, I would also say, what would you say to other businesses considering getting involved in a sector partnership?
I would tell them it's a great community-based program that we get all together once a month. You can come and you can give them your needs, and the sector partnership can help you in regards to if there is grants available for their business to grow, or just to get involved where your outlets are, if where you can find your candidates that they're coming in.
Great. I also wanted to just open it up to all of you to see if you have any other additional thoughts on sector partnerships or the retail industry.
I think the sector partnership is awesome. I think it's a great place to come together, like you said, to collaborate with the different, even if it's the different partnerships of manufacturing, healthcare. We're all coming to the same table with the same needs.
Great.
Yeah, that's right. What Tina has mentioned is really a very good, expression of that employers get the opportunity to have their voice heard by coming together. And they also are able to connect with supporting agencies to address their needs and priorities. And most importantly, businesses lead and others support businesses. Therefore, businesses can influence on setting agenda as well as action items.
Wonderful. I don't know if we still have Paul.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Do you have any other thoughts you wanted to share?
No, actually, I think the other two folks on the call have really done a great job with this, given some contemporary examples here of what's going on with sector partnerships. I think, the only thing I could add to that is recognize that this actually is a movement that is literally sweeping the nation. At the recent Sector Partnership Academy in Austin, 29 U.S. states were represented there with sector partnerships. But Colorado's leading the effort. We're recognized as one of the early adopters and having some very unique success here in Colorado and some unique solutions. So lots of folks are looking to us for leadership. So this opportunity to step up and lead certainly goes beyond just what we're doing within the state of Colorado.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think as I said, we have 26 active sector partnerships. I know Paul mentioned some of the variety of industries, and I know that we have some other communities across the state that are interested in launching new ones. So different sector partnerships are kind of at different stages. Some are considering launching, some have already launched and are working toward, sustaining and continuing to move their agendas forward. But it's exciting to hear about the progress that they're making and the wins both that Tina and Yohannes and Paul as well have shared.
Yes, absolutely. I assume that all of you, as you've mentioned here, are in need of employees. Is there anywhere that someone can go? Perhaps they're at home watching the show, listening to the show, and saying, I need a job.
Well, my website is www.cintl.com/careers.
Awesome. Paul, are you looking for anyone to hire?
All the time. My website is aquahot.com.
And Yohannes?
I would suggest people go to www.connectingcolorado.com and put their skill sets. That is a key word, that they have to put their skill sets in retails like customer service or specific skills that they have so that they can get job leads wherever they are.
That is wonderful advice. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today. This has been super helpful, and hopefully, if anything, we get one person a job out there, and we get other entities involved, right? Other businesses involved in the sector retail partnership or other industries even.
Yes. If people go to coworkforcecouncil.org, they can learn about what are the sector partnerships out there in Colorado all across the state if they're interested in connecting with one of them.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure having you on today. Be sure to like and subscribe our YouTube page while you're here, and have a wonderful day.